What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. It is another installation of the Siege Double Shot, and we are coming at you best of three style in the Challenger Series, the chance for the path to pro. I am still the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, my partner and co-host, Mr. Whiskey Run.
That's right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Challenger Series. It's time to find out, is M80x and Stomping going to qualify here for the Swiss stage? There's a lot of teams that have made it this far. The bracket has been, I think, a lot easier this time around. They've had a good run, but they're up against a team that has played together for a long time. We'll take a look at the bracket real quick. I know this question gets asked so frequently. How many games are left? How much more is left to play? We have got 3 open qualifiers in North America for the Challenger Series. 16 teams are going to qualify for the Swiss stage. Right now, we're in qualifier number 2. Is M80 going to be one of those teams? They lost last week in this exact game, the quarterfinal qualification game versus JJ and Co. And with Lair, Nighthaven, and Clubhouse in the map pool. They dominated on Lair and struggled on Nighthaven. So is it going to be a different story today? They have been seriously dominant during the group stage, 56-11 round differential. So it is absolutely a fantastic team when they're playing well together all the way through the group stage. So this team, though, anyone, we had some questions. Who are they playing? Who is Run It Back? Here's the teams, my friend.
Yeah, so obviously, if you've been following the Siege Double Shot the last couple of weekends, we have been certified Stompin' fans. So you've seen a lot of the team on the left. On the right, I can say the same exact thing. Maybe not the last couple of weeks, but for the last couple of years, we've been watching this team on the right play this core. Rai, Fozo, Vipoa, Yuv, and Temporal, Mr. Turkey. This team, I think you were looking it up before we got started before this pre-show. How many different teams have we cast on these guys?
Yeah, we've had a chance to cast this team of really that core of Rai, Vipoa, Yuv, and Turkey. These guys on probably 6 different teams. They've played together for a long time, all the way back 2022 for the last 3 years. Pretty solid core. But I mean, on this side, on the M80 side, these guys have played console together for just as long and just as successful. So this is going to be a fantastic matchup between these two teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And a best of 3 to get it done. A little bit different from the best of ones that you've been used to. A 7-0 not going to be quite as devastating because there's a couple more that you got to get through. And you saw it last week when we were in this very same setup, the best of 3s, where it was a dominant performance, then a little bit lackluster, and then we get to the best of 3, and it was an absolute brawl for it all. And, you know, as no bias here, we definitely hope that that's what we're bringing to the table today. We want some damn good Siege. Got to find out where we're going, though, Whiskey. Let's take a look at the battleground.
That's right. And this, I love this M80X team for their bans. They ban Skyscraper consistently, and I'm a certified Skyscraper hater. The fact that they have banned Skyscraper every single game we've had, every single match we've had, is awesome to me. I love it. And from a run it back perspective, banning Bank is a place to start. Great choice for them. M80X has been very successful on Bank as well. They 7-5'd it and then 7-0'd it in the last 2 qualifiers. So very good. Now the Consulate one is an interesting choice. We haven't seen M80 play on Consulate here in the Challenger Series Open qualifiers, or either last weekend or this weekend. So it's a bit of an unknown. They did play it back during the Crucible run and were successful, but Run It Back is thinking this is the place to do battle versus everything else that was available. And then M80 picking Lair. I love this. Like we said, 7-1 to JJ and Co on it last weekend as the first map. This is a map that they are very good at, and I love that we're getting to see it in competitive play again today.
That's right. And then following it up with Nighthaven, a classic, my favorite, and has been a little bit of a back and forth, mostly dominant by an M80 team, by M80X. But we've seen them struggle when a team with a well put together attack team comes through. So that's going to be the big question today. The battleground is set. Consulate, Lair, and Nighthaven. All of the new maps on the board. And man, I love this. I love this, right? You're not going to get to see it in ranked, so come do it in some comp play instead. Yeah, let's send it on that.
Yeah, we're close. Working on getting everyone in the lobby. It's a process to get all 10 players in. Everyone knows that who's watched these Rival Roller series, which we're going to be picking those back up again at the end of these Challenger Series matches. So, like we said, we're working through all 3 of the open qualifiers and then getting a chance to cast also the Swiss stage. So that is going to be coming at you next weekend, the last opportunity. And if M80X and Stompin win today, those games next weekend are to find out who they're going to be playing in the Swiss stage. So still a lot of relevance for the M80 fans, even if they win today. If they don't win, obviously, we're going to continue the path, make sure we cover this M80 roster all the way through the open qualifiers.
That's right. We're here for it. Okay, so Consulate, Lair, Nighthaven. I imagine bans are going to be very similar on this. We've seen a lot of intel being taken out. Shield play almost non-existent outside of the sometimes bringing along a blitz or something to try to get yourself a spearhead, and then Azami being an absolute dominator. I'm thinking on all 3 of these, they're going to be very similar. There is a definite default that they do not want to run against, and we've seen why, because it proves to be absolutely dangerous. Folks, we got a few more minutes while we get this the rest of the players into the lobby and set up and ready to go. We are so close. So sit back, relax, because when we come back, we're going to bring you the very first map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back. I told you it wasn't going to be long. Spectators and players, we are here. It's Consulate. M80X trying yet again to qualify for the Swiss stage, but first, they got to get through Run It Back. Whiskey, it's Consulate. You were a certified Consulate hater, but you're starting to see the merits. What specifically do you think we're going to be looking at today?
Consulates. Okay, one of the new maps. Obviously, we said have not seen this team play it aside from the Crucible. And I was gonna say, when we watched M80X, they were very consistent, always banning the Blackbeard as part of their Crucible run, and it switched over to all of the open qualifiers banning Monty. They changed that up here, changing and going with the Blackbeard. Run It Back though is gonna answer the same, gonna ban Monty. So. Not surprising to see that both of the shields, they are so good even on this map. The garage entry, the secret entry, the front door, whether or not it's going to be dropping skylights. The interesting one for me, though, is the Warden coming out as the change-up. We had not seen him banned. That leaves Mira, Azami available, and the Valkyrie going to be the final one banned out. So this interesting lineup here. The Fenrir from Franklin, that'll be the spoiler. There's a lot of defined entry points for this team, so we'll see how that changes things up.
I love the Warden ban, right? The vending machine hold with a deployable shield is just impossible to get to if you have got a mute on the board and a Jaeger or a Wamai on the board. You can't send in any sort of grenades. You have to burn out every piece of ADS that is set up around it. If there's a mute, you can't get your Flores drones in there to get it off. And then it just becomes a huge spot of contention where you have to actually push it from Spiral, you have to push it from admin, and maybe even pushing it from admin stairs coming up as well. So instead, they're just going to take them off the board.
So we're watching M80 setup starting off upstairs on this second floor. There's definitely been a lot of discussion back and forth. Is this site solved? Is it the better one? I think it's, for me, I don't know. I like the first floor sites. I love seeing the split site in Consulate. One of the only places in Siege now we get to see sites on 2 different floors. So Consulate's got that special, but teams typically try and avoid it. So a little bit of a roam game coming out here from Aiden downstairs, but for the most part, all focused upstairs on the 2F for the M80 defense to start it out.
Right, you can hold some verticality there, but mostly it's going to be that extension over to admin. And you can see right now, Run It Back quickly getting a lot of the boxes checked here for making their push in. And there it is. There's a drop down already. Blitz is going to be primed and poised at the top of the stairs. 2 smokes come out, one from smoke and also one.
Yo,
oh, man. Also, one of the other
so much for the blitz.
Attack smokes coming out. It's going to be trying to go for a window pop in. Yin Candel's going off. Rice going to find Turkey off the board. Glass starting to go down, and he gets dealt with. A shotgun. Stompin follows up with a vector play, and all of a sudden, it is just falling apart for the attack team. Run It Back. Going to have to try to run it back, but they're not going to be able to do it on 2F.
How many times are you going to make that joke today? Run it back in a 5v1, all down to Vipoa. A little bit of a struggle here at this point. They banned Warden to start this thing off, and what do? They run Ying. They try and take advantage of the fact that Warden is not there, that M80X doesn't have his ability there to block the Candelas. And then run it. Bring the Blitz, bring the Ying all at the same time, and go for the quick push. Plus a Glaz. It was a great quick try here from this team, but really unfortunately poorly executed. M80X reading into it and completely dominating them before anything got going.
Yeah, it was tough to find yourself on the wrong end of a prone position, shotgun ready to take on a shield player. And now they're set up. Fenrir gadgets go off, and Stompin's going to find it. It's going to be a flawless round for M80X to start us out. Run it back. Didn't have what it took on 2F, so now they're going to have to try it down on the basement. Arguably, could be one of the harder sites here, right? There's a bunch of avenues to attack, but there's some really great areas that defensive holds can just sit and wait for the push after that initial interaction, right? Pillar sitting back in the kitchen. If there's a mirror on board, which there is, Vic Band's pulling it out. It's the long hold onto the main breach with some C4s to back it up. I mean, this is a tougher site down into the basement, so got to see something a little bit different. Maybe a little bit of nod towards that traditional siege play. Take the vertical, open up the hatches, open up the main breach, and put a push in, or put some pressure on from Spiral or from Secret, and then start to do exactly like you would do on Cafe 3rd floor. Just start to pinch them closer together until you're able to connect off the rotate back to site. Oops, seemed to
Big
lost
change
game
up
sound a
here.
little bit there.
What's that?
I lost game sound here.
Oh, interesting. Yep, me too. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Game sound back. Okay.
Yeah, we got a fun one for you today. Whiskey Run is all the way up in the cabin, so a little bit of a different stream. Might see a couple of different things being tried out since he's a little bit farther away from the home setup.
That's right. We moved the production studio this time for this best of 3 for this qualification match. If you're just joining us, it is a best of 3 between M80X and Run It Back for the qualifier here for the Challenger Series Swiss stage. The winner moving on, qualifying to Swiss. The loser having to run it back next week in open qualifier number 3. Now, I was going to say, when we looked at the lineup that this Run It Back team brought on the last round, they're trying to take advantage of the Warden ban very, very clearly in a rush plant, or a rush execute in that first minute. Completely fell apart. M80 reading into it, shutting it down. This time focusing on the vertical play, bringing the Buck and the Ram to work. And this is the 2-floor approach all the way from 2F here. And from an M80 defense perspective, they've got nobody upstairs. Everybody bunkered back down. They're taking a very tight approach here to holding on to these push points. Really, this stomping on the Goyo, pushing up Spiral is the biggest roam game that they're currently showing. So Run It Back trying this strategy, but M80X has been very good at the vertical throughout all of these matches and reading into it. Love this long distance toss here from Rice on the tuber out.
That's right, and it is going to slow it down. So they're going to try to suss out where the heck this tuber is even at, slowing this plant down. Maybe, hopefully, allowing this bandit to get up and put some breach denial on it. He does have it towards the top, right? So, nope, there it goes, down below. Yin Candela starting to go off as they're just really trying to be incredibly quick on finding some of these entry picks. And this 2-floor aggression is just proven to be very aggressive. Smokes come out, trying to stop any sort of execute that's come down, but nobody's made that push in quite yet. Ash has gained a little bit of space as they sit at the bottom of yellow stairs, and in fact, Ash is going to find that first kill. Mira goes down. Man advantage now over into the hands of Run It Back, but it's answered. Stompin', Vector, good night, and a sleep tight puts us back into a 4-4. 57 as it starts to count down, and looking for that vertical pressure, looking for somebody making that rotate down. They brought a lot of emphasis for it, Run, and at this point, is not finding anybody yet. You're allowed to just sit back and hang. There it is. Pushed in through the breach is going to be the equalizers. Now we find ourselves in a 3-3. A quick shot towards Goyo, but Tubarao is absolutely there as well as Turkey goes down. But that's the plan. He's starting to get it. So a C4 sends out. Not going to answer as they find one on the down. So into a 3-2 post-plant scenario, and they've got it onto the main breach. Now they've got to retake outside. No Candelas. The vertical is now gone, which means it's a low health. Rai and Thermite trying to bring it back, and they're just doing the Lord's work here, trying to figure it out.
Yep.
Got him.
Wow. What a toss there from the two-brow. Blocking the access for Thermite means he has to push from one side, right? You take away the chance, you take away the option for pushing on the other side of the garage, force him to take the angle that you know he's going to have to peek. Plus, you had a 3v1 scenario. Runner back did a great job of distracting using the hatch drop and planting in the smoke and just barely avoiding it from the defensive smoke, getting that plant down. But in the 3v1, a great use of the two brow there to force the angle. M80x played that defensively perfectly, even in a post plant scenario.
Okay, well, they must have been listening. They heard your call to arms. It's going to be split site here, run for our third
Let's
round.
go.
Yeah,
I
you
love
wanted
it.
it. It's unique. This is the only place where you can see the split level site, and it's fun because it can afford you some really interesting extensions. I mean, you can take it all the way up to the second floor with either some intel or castle to block off that the push in, and you can really just hold from a ton of different areas. As long as you're not pushed on a 5v1 scenario, you can really do some damage at making them slow down. On the defensive side of it, Stompin' going to bring out the Sentry, not one we get to see too often.
I mean, he's got his usefulness. And we're talking about Sentry in this case, not Stompin', who's currently sitting at 3-0 to start off. But really, the entire M80 squad has, I mean, most of this team has yet to even die. They have a single death on their team in 2 rounds. That is a wild stat here when you're talking about this opening. And again, this is Run It Back's map pick, right? So we know that M80x has got Lair coming up as theirs. It's a very good team. Run It Back is really, to me, in a must-win scenario here on Consulate here to start this thing off. So the way that they're pushing in, Burnt Turkey bringing out the Raora this time. One of the first times we're going to get to see her. We'll see whether or not her gadget makes an appearance, even when she's been a part of it. Haven't seen a lot of use of her gadget in this case. So they've got the Lion. They've got tons of hard breach here. So, and right now, focusing, it looks like, on a bit of the secret take. Whether or not that's going to be a distraction piece for a more direct upstairs. Love the fact that they're bringing this out and focusing there on the back half of the map.
Yeah, it's an absolutely good call, right? It kind of spread out a little bit. We've got one up on the second floor. That's the Mute hanging out with the shotgun, Franklin. Stomplin's going to go down first. Yev is going to find that first kill. Headshot deleted. Now puts the main advantage into the hands of Run It Back. Find themselves in a not bad of a starter spot, even though it's taken up some time. Do have 2 people that are already inside taking up space, including Turkey and Yev, who both claim some first floor territory. But it's a defensive side of map run, right? It's Consulate. You expect the defense to win some of these rounds, especially very early on. Ooh, sees a peek, starts to make the rotate around, and there's some shots on. Bailiff is out to try to make a statement, comes up onto the corner and ends up paying the price. Vic Vans goes down and now puts us into a 5-3 scenario. Still just a ton of intel to potentially be had by the Pulse. At this moment, defense a little bit on the back foot.
That's right. They lost 2 of the key pieces here in the Fenrir. He's not going to be able to move those gadgets around. Losing the Sentry, not so much, but it's the problem is the guy behind the screen that losing there early is going to be a problem. So you said it, Run It Back working on this. Aiden's going to answer back with that first kill, though. A lot of vertical, both from above and below at this point from the M80X. They're spread out. Run It Back could take advantage of that, but got to win one more of these fights. But Rice, man, with C4 coming out and trades back and forth, but it's a 2v2 now with 20 seconds left. Plant going down, my friend.
That's right, and they're gonna go ahead and stick it. So post plan, a little bit of a retake here scenario for Franklin and Aiden as they find a little bit of their work cut out for them. But man, Aiden just comes in off the back of a triple kill, finds one, takes a quick faux swing, and then one around the back end. Franklin able to take Rai off the board, and that's gonna be a 3 up, 3 down for M80X as Run It Back's gonna get a second chance here on the round rotate.
Mission successful.
All right, that is 2 plants that this Run It Back team has managed to get down. It's one of the things we talked about M80 being so good at is getting the plant down, the objective-based gameplay. Run It Back answering with that same kind of energy. Managed to get 2. The problem is haven't been able to close out either of those rounds. All the action upstairs was indeed a distraction for downstairs for the secret plant, but M80 read into that and won a couple of those battles, specifically Aiden coming in with 2 huge kills there to even that man count up. That was really the turning point here for this team. So Run It Back has tried a couple different strategies. They've tried the rush, they've tried the execute, the objective base. So far, none of that is really sticking. None of it is working. But you said it, a little bit of a defensive-sided map. For sure, Run It Back knew that they were going to start on attack. This interesting strategy, though, banning out Warden and trying to go for the flash smoke kind of a strategy. Looks like they're going to lean into that some more here, bringing out the Ying again. I like the change-up, though, with the Flores to try and clear out some of the Goyo canisters, some of the other pieces of utility, maybe make those Yings a little bit more effective. If they can take down Wamai early, clear out some of that utility, Ying will be a lot more effective with no Warden on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'd like to just highlight something here, Run. Adam in the chat says, con attack sucks. And you know what? That's true. This is a really hard map to attack against. Even if you've got a well put together team, even if your communication is on point, you still have to take some really difficult areas to get in. So needing something cheeky like the Ying is almost vital. Vic Vance takes a little bit of early damage as they try to get a spawn peek, and he does pay the price for it, but he's going to potentially be able to get back up the stairs because that pressure from admin stairs is going to keep them off. So it is going to get us up. We are going to be able to have ourselves a full 5-5 here. So the first 30 seconds has ticked down.
Yep, he's going to be sitting at that 20 HP, but we're going to open up some of these sight lines, and there, the floor, as we talked about, him needing to clear out some of these important pieces of utility.
Oh.
A huge miss on the spiral stairs. You still got a little bit of time to get that thing back up, but I love the fact that, again, stomping on the Azami. We watched on the clubhouse game. He was nearly unstoppable last weekend playing the Azami here, and going to back this thing up and try and support the team here. But from a Run It Back, we're working on clearing. You see those Goyo canisters in place. A little bit of an admin over, and there's the Ying Candelas coming out, trying to push this team away, but no, loses the battle. That's the Ying down.
Yeah, now you can see it that Poe is making their way up the spiral stairs. A little bit of a lurk play here. Aiden's going to take one. Now puts us into a 5-2 scenario. So they're going to try to make a push. Might have a play here, but they seem to be just kind of locked, right? There's all sorts of the crossfire is set up and covered. Looking towards the wrong end, is going to find one, though. Franklin goes down, so a little bit closer to equalizing both Vic and Stompman in a very low health scenario. Flashes start to ring out as the Fenrir gadgets go off, but the quick swing from the shotgun is going to be the turning point here. If he wins this fight, they might be able to bring something back. Vic Vance goes down, and he does. He takes Rice off the board, now puts him into a 2-2 scenario. Still plenty of time, and now they've got some critical territory that they've taken up. One had to rotate around. You can see Rai taking himself to the west corridor to help support this push from Nook, who's made it all the way up into reception, all the way to the top of spiral stairs. So here's what we were talking about in the pre-show for Consulate. It is that push around, this constrict, and they're going to try to set up a little bit of a pinch right here. 30 seconds. Making sure that he's not seen onto the cameras. The gadget goes out, a couple of shots, allowing Rai to get into place. Fire goes out, which means you're not going to be able to take that admin over approach. Oh, sees him, saw him, gets himself back into a better position, but not going to be able to answer. The Poa goes down as Aiden takes him off the board. It's all going to be onto the shoulders of Rai and Stompin'. He's going to say, no thank you, you shall not pass. 4 up and 4 down.
Once again, similar to the basement strat, they used the utility that they had left to force the attackers into a specific defined entry point. Popping that Goyo canister at the last second, really similar to tossing that tube rail, forcing them. You can't, like you said, can't make the default plant, can't make the rotate back over on the admin side. He's got to push in where the defenders know he's waiting. Zami and Stompins hold up back, protected by all of our Kiba barriers, and then just picked off the last 2 attackers as they try and make the push in. No, they said in chat, attacking sucks on Consulate. There's no doubt about it, but from a run-it-back perspective, on your map pick, you've got to pick up at least 1. This is now a must-win round scenario for this team. Going to the basement, this is going to be a tough push in. They got close. Like you said, we got a plant down, but it was a 3v1 scenario after that plant went down. So they have got to convert one of these opening picks into a round win. Otherwise, it's going to be a very quick map here. So Run It Back. It's time, my friends.
Okay, so what are they bringing to the table? A little bit of an investment into the vertical game. You saw them going all the way up to the second floor, opening up both sides, right? Ram can take down below, Buck opens up top, both positions, and then try to catch somebody rotating off. You're still leaning on that not being able to use a warden factor here with the smokes from Capital being brought out and the Candelas. So looking like we're going to try to go for an execute once again. On the side of M80X, they're just running it back. Same lineup. Boy, that's going to get confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely one of the catchphrases that you use frequently, man. Run it back. In this case, you're talking about the lineup, not the team. But in either case, they said it's M80 running the same lineup for a good reason because it's working now. Bipolar going to take down Stompin early. That is a huge pick. Whether or not he's the win condition today, he's almost always at the top of the list. He was the MVP in 4 maps in a row yesterday. But a lot of comments. Aiden right now just being locked in, sitting at 6-1. What can you do when he's locked in? Runner back is going to have to try and find out. They did get this first pick though. Can they make this the changeup? Can they turn this into a win? Again, they're focusing on the vertical. They brought along the Ram and the Buck, and this time Yuv bringing out the Ying as well. Trying to just lean into this Warden ban. I love that they planned that strategy so far ahead.
Yeah, and so big vertical hold now here out of the attack team, right? Really, they brought this along last time. They were just hoping, waiting, and seeing if they could get some sort of pick. And once they got it close to equalized, that Thermite was really fast there. Turkey finds one on Vic. Aiden's going to take Yuv off the board. That's going to get us close to equalized here, but it does sit into a 4-3 as the man advantages into the hands of Run It Back. That was funny, bro.
Yeah, that spectator bug always a little bit funny, but Run It Back holding on. They're in a 4v3. They've got a little bit of a health taken down, but Aiden sitting at 7-1, running the mute and the shot. He's still alive. He doesn't have a C4. Rice is the only one left, so the vertical team here is going to have to be careful. Rice had already hit 1 C4 earlier in this game. They still have got 4 left alive, and they need to make the crucial push down to actually get that plant down. So they're holding, and you can see being very careful about where they're standing, knowing that there's still 1 C4 left on the board. But man, Aiden is just absolutely locked today, taking another.
Yeah, but they still have some presence in Franklin as well, right? He's sitting in the security room area. He definitely can start to be that win condition from a long ways away. 21 seconds now, smokes start to come out, and here's going to be the fire and the smokes of Capitao as they're trying to create some space, push them back farther so they can get themselves a plant, and that's going to be Turkey finding the pistol pop onto Aiden. They're going to push onto the rotate hole. Might send the C4 too long. No, Rice is able to connect. Rice good for a double. Now into a 2v1, is going to be into a 1v1, a stand down, but no time left on the board. Defender's going to find another one. It is a 5-0 start, and if you are running back, it is time to start the car. It is time to put your foot on the gas and press it to the metal. This is a must-win round.
I love that that M80 is taking the split site again, but going back for a second and looking at that round, very similar strategy, right? Hold the vertical, get the distraction, and take advantage of the fact that there's no Ying. The piece that they missed, again, we talked about it all round. The C4 from Rice coming out, taking down the planter. They had the hat strap to try and prevent him from doing that, but he wins that battle as well. Rice sitting at 5-2. Right now, M80 is locked. This is now. You know what? Taking a look at what we saw last week, again, when they played JJ & Co. in this best of 3, they absolutely dominated the first map. It was a 7-1 victory on Lair, and then they went down and lost the next 2. So in the best of 3 scenario, you got to keep it locked for the entire afternoon in this case. Right now, they are showing at least looking like they are very locked today, and this is going to be the win. Now, Run It Back. You said it. Time to put the pedal to the metal. You've got one more opportunity here on your attacking side before you get potentially the easier side. But the problem is you're still playing M80. after
On
that.
their attack, M80's attack, right? M80X's defense is wonderful. They're really good. They hold really difficult areas to push into. Their strats are fun, but their attack is where they are really aggressive, really good at spotting the mistakes, and really, really good at capitalizing off entry picks, right? So, man, that's the tough part of it, as you have to then see that side of it. So, run it back. They can do this. They need this round, however. And what do they do? What do they bring to get it? They're going to dedicate themselves into getting some of that roam game off the board, right? Win condition being takedown stomping, takedown Aiden. Well, they're going to try to bring along the Deimos to do so. I think it's a good call.
All right, sitting this first minute starting to tick away. I love the fact that Vipoa brought out the Deimos. We had talked about Deimos in some of the previous rounds, previous games, how good he is on attack, trying to identify the roamers. The real thing is we haven't seen M80 be crazy on their roam game. That hasn't been the way that Run It Back is losing. They're losing some of the more direct engagements. So Deimos can definitely provide and put some pressure on the defense, but you know, focusing on the roam game, it hasn't been a focus for Run It Back because M80 hasn't been running that style. Right now, this particular site is probably the most spread out we've seen them. Got Stompin' playing the Vigil upstairs, holding on to the 2F with the Boss G. They're going to have to be careful peeking any of those angles. He's just that good.
All right, well, they got some dedication to the roam game here, right? There's going to be the first one, stomping, taken down, the Vigil gone. Now thinking they're claiming some first floor, but, oh, man, C4 almost connects, but they don't do it, so he's just going to take the aggression and push up, and a Deimos ping's going to be able to spot him out. Big Bands finds one, Aiden finds two, and all of a sudden, this, man, it was looking like it was going to be a good start. You got the win condition off the board, but just all fell apart. And now you're going to send yourself running because DMR is absolutely sending the heat right now. Or the DMR, the sniper shotty, absolutely sending the heat. Jeez. Vertical has had that roam game not dealt with, even though Deimos was there, and it's a 6-0 half to start us out. Tough place to find yourself to start us.
You said it. Match point scenario for map 1. If you are just joining us, it is a best of 3 between M80X and Run It Back to see who qualifies to the NAL Challenger Series Swiss stage. It is so close from an M80 perspective to qualifying at this time. Run It Back right now looks to be only a small bump in the road, but the siege isn't over. It's a best of 3. It's map 1. Now they get to try their turn at defense. The problem is they're at 6-0 half. It's going to have to be incredible defensive run for Run It Back here. They've got to be perfect for 6 to keep this map hope alive. And the problem is we are going to Lair next. M80's pick, which they dominated JJ and Co. on last week, 7-1. They can keep this momentum up. This could be a best of 3 that's done in 2.
Ooh, Man, okay. Need to see some magic here. Need to see something that we know Run It Back can do, right? If you've watched the Siege double shot, you've seen this team playing together since our inception of casting in Siege. So they've got the know-how. They've got the skill. But can they do it against M80's Academy team? That's the big question. On the side of the attack, going to bring out some flank watch. Aiden, who sits 10-2 currently, is bringing out the Nomad. So any sort of flanking going on, specifically Vipoa on that P10 Roni. That C4 in hand, going to find himself maybe in a little bit of trouble should he start to make that potential lurk play. But this is a good defensive setup, right? We've got the Azami who can redefine that site, the architect, if you will. Fenrir to stop any sort of quick sort of action, which you can almost assume that M80X is going to be bringing, taking up some of that space very quickly. And then smoke on that area denial. This is a good defensive setup. This first pick is going to be the big teller of the rest of this round.
All right, there it is. Aiden, 11-2-2. I was about to say, who's going to be the first engagement? Looking like the Nomad, and indeed wins the battle versus Yuff. That's the Azami down, so no more of those Keeper Berries going to come into play. She's going to die with a few in pocket. It's not the end of the world, though. This team still has some of this utility in play. They've got the Fenrir, they've got the smoke available, and Fazo finally taking down Rice. He had been a menace, shutting him down. That's the buck. That's the vertical piece. So they're going to have to be a little bit more direct now. None of that vertical play in his pocket. They're doing the admin overtake at this point. So we've got all of the Grimbees from Vic Band. So they've got utility here. This run it back team, though, going to have to play very carefully. Do not press the advantage. Don't overpeak your angle. Force this M80X team come to you, try and take advantage. We got 1:19 left, so plenty of time for both of these teams to find a way to win.
Okay, a little bit of damage done to Rai, but he stays alive. We're 4 all. Grim is primed. Sends out a couple of bees. Some Flores drones going to force back down the admin stairs. And in fact, they're just going to take the scenic route, fully rotate around to put themselves back up on a little bit of alert. Try to catch them coming up yellow. That's going to be Fozo to find one as Aiden goes down. Now puts us into a 4-3. Main advantage into the hands of Run It Back. 48 seconds. That starts to feel like a little bit of a win here, if you're on the defensive side of it. And there's going to be a P10 Roni taken. Vic Band's off the board, now puts us into a 4-2. We've seen a situation like this before. And maybe has brought it back, but it's a tough climb, especially with now the util starting to come out. That area denial, the smoke canister starting to become a factor. Stompin', though, he's still alive. The Poa gets taken out by him, Franklin, so now it's going to be all back onto Stompin's shoulders. A 1v3, a low health Fenrir takes a couple of shots. He's going to get the kill. Now into a 1v2, 15 seconds left. They're holding on to the long angle, and the miss is going to make it a little bit difficult. Now it's just going to be the plant starting to go down. He just gets in and says, you know what? Full send it. Shotgun is out. Couple of shots down there. Doesn't make this plant, and Rai is able to take him off the board. And so they have to be perfect for 6. They find 1, and it's a good start.
Okay, Run It Back wins 1 on defense, although it got close. Stomping, getting the plant down, 2v1 scenario. That is a very dangerous situation for any team to be in. Now, there's a lot of questions in the chat about the qualification process, and I know we've talked about it a few different times, but if you're just joining us, this is the qualification game to the Swiss stage. There is a lot of siege left to find out who is going to be the only NAL affiliate teams to come in from these open qualifiers. 4 teams are going to qualify today. All 4 quarterfinal matches going on at this point. 8 teams currently left in it. The winners of each of these quarterfinal matches will qualify to the Swiss stage. There are 16 teams in the Swiss stage. The top 8 will go to a double elimination playoff bracket where the winner will win the NAL Pro League spot. This is absolutely the Challenger Series qualification to Pro League. The problem is there is a ton of siege left to get to that point. So you have to win today in your quarterfinal best of 3. You have to win all of your games in the Swiss stage to make it to the playoffs. And then you have to win all of your games in the playoffs in a double elimination bracket to win and make it to the Pro League. So a lot of teams open, available, some X-Pros, some great T2, some great T3 teams in it. This is the first step, though, winning the quarterfinals today in this best of 3.
Man, the path to pro, when you speak about it, it just sounds like, you know, such a Cinderella story scenario. You get your homies together, you make a stack, you go take on the best that Siege has to offer, starting from the T4, T3 divisions to the T2, and then your chance at T1. Man, I just love this game. On the side of the attack, we're going to see Osa being brought out. So as a dedication towards getting that secret hatch open, or secret, what is that thing called? Wall. There we go. Getting that secret wall opened up so they can make a push in from the backside a little bit more protected with Franklin and that Osa shield. Not very many uses if you get to see the Osa being brought out. That's not a bad one.
The other thing I would want to mention is, too, it's not the last opportunity. Even if M80X was to lose this game and lose this series, the open qualifier number 3 is taking place next weekend where another 4 teams will have the opportunity. Problem is you just got to fight it out through the single elim bracket one more time. However, in the game right now, loving the fact that we see Aiden running the glass, taking advantage of the fact that Warden's not available for them either. It's a 3v4 though, with half the round gone. Big Bands evens it up in a 3v3, and then with Turkey going down, Aiden unstoppable right now. 12-3-2. He is the win condition for this team. Run It Back has got to shut him down and win this battle versus Glass right now.
Well, they take the man advantage. It does get equalized as Rai is able to find one. Rice gets taken off the board by Vapoa, and now the aforementioned Glaz is now the last alive in a 1v2. Vigil has the Boss G in hand. That's some of that devastation that only it can bring. It's a little bit of a sound cue stopper as he takes a couple of shots going through the rotate, hoping that he's not caught out here. Potentially to have the play on the rotate, but there's a double up. Now looking towards that head hole that was created, and yep, there it is. That's the Boss G going to take Aiden down. Win condition met, and they find themselves another round. Now, that was the primary and secondary site, right? So that seems assuredly that the defense should take it. This will be the big test. You have to be perfect for 6. This will be the big first test, the Tersh site. And they're not going to take a chance on going with the split site whiskey. They're going to go straight to piano.
I think from the M80X side, the split site is an advantage. It's a pocket advantage that they've been using. They were practiced on that site and dominated on it from a defensive perspective. That is just the result of hard work in play. You know, Merck is their coach, and I think they've done a fantastic job setting up a Consulate defense that was very difficult to counter. Run it back, doing a decent job right now, but certainly I think you said it, the first floor piano site definitely easier. It is the best opportunity, though, the tertiary site here for the attacking team to get a win. That is a lot of pressure on run it back, all of the pressure on them, in fact, because it's match point. We're sitting here. Now, you know, I've said it a few times. We're on map 1 here of this best of 3. So map 2 is Lair. And an M80X put on a show last weekend versus JJ and Co. in a 7-1 victory on that map. So Run It Back really needs to find a way to win here on Consulate and try and avoid having Layer be the win or go home map.
Okay, so perfect for 6. Found themselves 2. Now got a bit of a tech pause here as they had a little bit of a frame bug going on. Obviously, wouldn't be live siege without some live siege issues, right, Whiskey?
Exactly. Live siege problems, a frame bug. I know you're shocked that there'd be a bug in the game, but supposedly Siege X is going to fix all of that coming out in June for year 10, season 2. Now, there was again some questions about the Swiss stage. We talked about it. Swiss stage is not a LAN taking place online just like all of the other matches. It will take place in April. Next weekend is the third and final open qualifier for North America. The following weekend will be the start of the Swiss stage. So 2 weeks away is the start of the Swiss stage. 16 teams battling it out in that to find out the top 8. The top 8 moving on to a double elimination playoff bracket. So all of it taking place online. Unfortunately, no lands in the NAL. We really haven't had any lands since COVID, except for this recent Denver LAN in the collegiate scene. So I'm hoping, everyone is hoping, we're going to get back into more of that. But currently, for Challenger Series, all online as we move into the Swiss stage and the playoff bracket to find out who's going to earn that Pro League spot.
And you guys are asking, when is the Swiss stage? Well, we have a ton of information that we cover for you guys. So if you go follow us on Twitter at Siege Double Shot or at Glitter Whiskey or at Racing ENGR, we'll be able to fill you in on times, dates, places, the who, what, when, where, and why of what's important in the R6 scene at the amateur level all the way up to the professional level. So your one-stop shop for some Siege news. Go check us out on Twitter, and we will make sure that we keep everybody updated. On the side of the attack, we've got these Brava drones just being incredible at taking a ton of different gadgetry right now. Fenrir's gone. Bulletproof's gone. Make it a little bit more difficult here. Fenrir looking, he can hear it. Now he hears the drone and getting in. He's going to take one off the board and now notice that his Fenrir gadget is gone. There's the second one he has to take out as well. A ton of gadget done.
Tremendous amount of utility there for the Brava. We see her banned out, although typically more often on Chalet because of how good she is. But like we said, one of the first times we're seeing this M80X attack team, Vic running the Brava. I happen to love it. Same thing we're going to see rather than the Glass this time, the Ying, again, taking advantage of the lack of the Warden on the defensive side. All 10 left alive, though, as this one's moving down. Both teams moving a little bit slower, but it is very much a direct take here from this attacking team, focusing on the first floor. Really no one upstairs on the second floor, so the fact that you've got, what, two of the run-it-back players still holding upstairs, they're going to have to watch out. Look at those, the Yin Candelas, the flashes coming in. That is the diffuser going down. The distraction upstairs causing that.
No kidding. There's a quick couple to go through. Vic bans a stop and go down. Rice answers back, but it's a post-plant scenario. Legion now done and gone. So 2 left in on the piano and the lounge and force itself into a site retake scenario. Rice is going to go down. Now all up to Aiden, all up to Buck. And they, I imagine, have got that vertical covered here. A C4 goes down as he's still holding on to it. You got to have 7 seconds on the board, and that's going to push them off. So now 10 seconds left in which to get this kill and then force that rotate. Taking a couple of shots, he's going to find it, and now it is going to 5 seconds on the board. He has to push up. He has to get the shot and defuse. He's not going to have enough time, so he's just got to try to stick it. Unfortunately, not going to be the case. If you're a run-it-back fan, M80x is going to take map number 1, and they're going to do it on run-it-back's map pick. Next up, Lair. Ooh. Crazy place to find yourself.
7-2 victory for M80x on Consulate, on Run-It-Back's map pick. The MVP going to Aiden in this case, 14-4-2. Incredible run for him. We said it, heard it in chat, absolutely locked in today. So stopping the MVP all day yesterday. But when you're backed up by a team like this, M80x looking very good. We're going to take a quick break as we work on getting the second map set up. Again, this is a best of 3 between these two teams to see who qualifies to the Swiss stage here in the Challenger Series. We've got at least one more map coming up, and it is Lair, my friend.
That's right. Can't wait for it. Newest map, newest strats, maybe even some new ops on the board. Might see the new one coming out. Either way, we'll figure it out when we come back. So sit back and relax, because when we do come back, we're going to bring you the second map. Ayo.
Let's go.
Oh, what's up? And welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We are ready. It's time. Map number 2 is coming at you. It is a must-win scenario for Run It Back if they hope to see map 3 and have a chance at qualifying for the Swiss. M80 looking to close it out now. They're going to try to do it on Lair. Let's check out the bans, Mr. Whiskey.
That's right, Lair. This was the map we said M80x won 7-1 versus JJ and Co. Very dominant, and their map pick as well. Now, talked about who wants to ban which shield op. A little bit of a trade back and forth here with M80 focusing solely on the Monty and basically all of Qualifier 1 and Qualifier 2 up until today. They switched over and started banning the Blackbeard, but Run It Back taking care of that for them. Interestingly, though, they're going to change up the strategy, ban out the Dokkaebi in this case. They want to roam, maybe a little bit heavy, but the question is, are we even going to make it to their defensive half? I think that's a bit of a question mark at this point.
Well, I think we have to, right? You got to get there to settle it out. So I guess we'll find out. Dokkaebi off the board does mean that there's going to be some spicy roam play going on. And then a little bit of a target bound. Tubarão is a great ban no matter what map you are in. He is great at setting the pace, but specifically in the hands of Stompin' has been incredible. I believe that's what he was using on that ace that he got on Bank yesterday, I think was the Tubarão play. Either way, Azami goes down as well, and I didn't see the other oh, I did. I was just talking about it. It was Tubarão. Azami going to be the final ban to go out. And this is, man, this is going to be a good one, Whiskey.
Indeed it is. Yeah, you said it. The fact that that Tubarão band, not only did Stompin' get the ace on Bank, which was an incredible clip, also when we just saw on Consulate, Rice had an incredible game with Tubarão as well. So I think, and we did see that that he caused the frame bug. So that's one of the things with Tubarão that's sort of been a little bit of a back and forth is good operator, causes some FPS issues. So, the fact that he's banned maybe makes the gameplay a little bit easier, but for sure, M80x have done a great job running him now. Banned out by M80, so they want to make sure that they don't have to deal with that. from a run it back perspective, and that could be a little bit of the strategy they've got rolling in. The Azami ban, interestingly, I feel like in this
10
case
seconds
hurts
remaining.
run it back a little bit more. Yes, Stompin's very good on the Azami, but
5 seconds
he's
remaining.
very good on most of the operators. Having Azami available for Lair to try and create some of those one-way peaks is, I think, was an important part of trying to gain a little bit of advantage here on the run it back side to start. So we'll see right now. It feels like advantage M80X in the ban phase.
Okay, so let's take a look at this defense. Mira being brought along for the long hold here. I enjoy that. Warden, who was banned out on the last, going to be present, as obviously the Yings, the smokes, the flashes were absolutely devastating. And since they're bringing a Glass along to the table for this first run, seems like a good idea. And then the one that we've been talking about a lot recently, Ella. When she is on the board, those Grismots can be a devastating factor towards the shield play because it's one of those gadgets that can force the shield aside, allowing you to get a little bit better shots towards the legs or opening up that ever so coveted headshot on a shield player.
You know, Fett talked about it during the first map, tweeted about it. A lot of throws from run it back, it seemed like. A couple of rounds that they just really sort of fell apart and gave it away to M80X. In this case, Turkey running the Ella, but in combination with the Shoddy. I love her Shoddy. I just don't know that it has got the same, just going to say the same level of competitiveness as the Scorpion, but he's going to go ahead and caster curse me by getting a double with it right off the bat. No
And
way.
the Stompin goes down as well, so now puts us into a 5v2 scenario, but they're going to be able to get him back up, so the Glass play potentially going to be bringing it back. And look at that, Aiden to find one, but Aiden gets answered back as now it's into a 2v4 scenario. Does have a C4 in the hands of Bandit as well, so some of that long distance could be quite huge. Holding on to the angle. They know exactly where they're pushing from. They've got a little bit of intel here. Oh, and there's the C4. One of them at least off the board as Warden sends his flying, but still have one in the hands of Bandit as well. Now there's some Bs. They've got the pistol out. Oh, going for a quick couple of shots, but not finding anything just yet. A smoke goes out. His Glass is going to try to take a look now, and he'll be able to spot a sliver of body if there is one to be had here. So takes a quick look in. Oh, a couple of shots, but a missed opportunity as Turkey's now on the quad kill, looking for a first round ace. Turkey gonna find it!
No way!
We were just talking about
Are you
stopping
kidding
ace
me?
in the round yesterday on one, and Turkey says, you know what? I can do that. I can do one of those. Finds himself 5 out the gate, and what an answer back to start us out.
I'm absolutely blown away, my friend. Not only is it an ace to start off on round one, the answer back, but running the Ella Shoddy? What did we just watch?
I'm not sure. It was great. It happened. We're there. Ace again on a round one scenario. Not bad. It's a good way to start it, especially if you want to see map number 3. Lair's defensive sided. No surprise here. They take that first. Site fairly easy, I guess you could say. Now we head down to the basement, where we'll see an attention to the vertical game. Turkey putting himself on the castle means an extension will be had here.
Attackers have discovered the location of a
I'm still just in absolute shock the fact that we saw an Ella Shoddy ace come out from Turkey. Now, Yuv gonna switch it up and run the Scorpion this time, so we won't be treated to that same level of just absolute shock and awe coming out from her Shoddy. But and I absolutely love the sound of it. M80X, what did they do to change it up? Strategize. I love the Deimos, right? We talked about how good Deimos is at identifying where the roam game is from this team. The fact that they're playing the basement site means I'm almost certainly run it back are going to have a much larger roam presence. You can see that. Three players on the first floor, 1 on the second floor, 1 down in the basement. So very similar to the way we might see like a clubhouse setup from a heavy roam game. Expecting a lot of vertical play from M80. Run it back is making the adjustments they need to and taking this seriously. They want to see a map 3.
Okay, so drones going out. You can see Vic bands go on to this striker. We've seen a lot of some of those recruit plays recently. Oh, look at that. And they suss out the Mira. They know that they've got somebody playing close. Do they know if that he is holding onto the angle? They're just going to start opening everything up, and they're going to deal with this Mira quite early and easily. At least force him back from that position for sure. And there it is. Gets back, is ready to take a couple of shots towards that soft breach area, and he's going to find the first one. Yuv takes Aiden off the board, does give the man advantage over to the hands of Run It Back. Turkey to find another. So he puts himself on a 6-0, and then it's going to be Yuv on the rotate down to the hatch as he escapes with his life. Main advantage now into the hands of Run It Back.
Continuing that advantage, but Stompin answers back, taking down Rai, getting a little bit closer here in a 3v4 with half the round gone. This is a basement site, so a lot of the action happening here on the first floor, tons of engagements, and this attacking team going to have to make their way downstairs. One of the hallmarks we saw from the M80 attack was their focus on the objective-based gameplay, getting the plant down, an incredible number of it. That previous round, Ellis Shadi didn't even let him get close to it, but they're going to continue to work this angle, work the vertical before you can see the Hibana making her way, Franklin running, getting ready for the plant downstairs.
Yep, and that's going to be the second Mira done and dusted, dealt with. So they're trying to make that final push in, and now holding on to a pistol peak angle. A pixel peak angle is taking the shots and is going to be rewarded. The DMR goes out. Jackal goes down, all onto the shoulders of the vertical play and the Ram. One more boogie drone as they start to make the push in towards the top. Sees a bit of the angle, but not going to do it. Turkey just turned it up, flipped the switch, put the pedal to the metal, and says, I want to see a map number 3. Now, Whiskey, it's Lair. It's defensive sided. Will this be the first actual test here for Run It Back on the Tersh site?
We're going to start asking the question, right? We saw M80X absolutely dominate during the group stage in both of the open qualifiers, last weekend and this weekend. Unbelievable stats when we talked about the round differential that they saw in the games that they won, 56 and 11 round differential. The problem was when they got to the quarterfinals, when they got to this stage of the game versus JJ & Co., is when they started to fall apart, when they started to struggle. Map 2 of the best of 3. They were absolutely locked in on map 1. Map 2 is where things started to fall apart. Whether or not we're seeing a similar strategy or this is more about the map itself is the big question to me. Is it Lair? Is it defensive-sided? If that's the case, then we're going to see absolutely M80 come back and focus on it in the second half. If what we're seeing, though, is them struggling in continuing the momentum that they saw through the group stage into a full best of 3, that's the piece here. That's the unknown for me, and it's too early to tell yet which way it's going to run.
Well, no bias here. Obviously, we're Stompin' fans, but we are Turkey fans too. We're Rai fans. We're Yuv fans too. Like, we love both of these teams. So a map 3 would just absolutely fill my heart with joy, which means we do, unfortunate for the Stompin' fans, need to see Run It Back win this. This will be a critical round. This will kind of give us the test. Not critical. This will be an important round. Right, as they're kind of sussing out their ability, sussing out their extensions, their roam games, already stomping on a lurk. He's got some intel. He's getting droned in, and that's dangerous. Franklin able to find the first off the board, which means the main advantage does head into the hands of M80X like a cheetah. He is just absolutely ready for it, waiting for the cam. Cam does go off. It's going to give a little bit of a spot, so they know that somebody, the Nook, is sitting down there. That's going to be Stompin' to find it. Yuv goes to take the engagement and pays the price for his hubris. Don't peek the king as you find yourself now in a 5v3. The test on the Tersh starting to get a little bit tough for the defense. First minute is gone.
The win condition here for the M80X team, all right, they've already started to whittle this squad down into a 5v3. You said it, but Turkey still left alive, 8-0, running the Ella with the Shadi again, but getting very, very close to an unwinnable round in this case. Pretty standard setup here from a Lair defense perspective, though, is gain control of the R6 room upstairs, and then focus on that main breach downstairs, and the Deagle double from Stompin' at the end of that round gives M80X their first here on Lair.
Okay, so the test on the Tersh goes to the attack side as they're able to find a win. And now take it back. They can run anything. Going to head up to that 2F scenario to try that again. They're going to run a pretty similar strat. We're going to see Rai on the DMR. They're going to have a dedication and investment into holding on to making sure those walls close, and probably specifically those mirrors as well, because Hibana made quick work of those. As soon as you get those mirrors opened up, then you're forcing those players back, then the cross is set up, and then it's a good night sleep tight. So this time, they brought along the Bandit to try to stop some of that.
All right, my friend, man, the double one tap at the end. Stompin shows up exactly when he needed to, sitting at that 4-2. Right now, the clear kill leader, but he's backed up by a tremendous squad. We saw Aiden go insane on that last map. He's yet to sort of get that same traction today, but they did manage to shut down Turkey 8-1. We said that was the win con. Pulled it off. Run it back, though, on defense. That was the tertiary site, so they won the primary, they won the secondary, lost the battle on the tertiary site. This time, though, they get to run it back to upstairs, this main site where they were very successful to start this thing off. A little bit of change up, though. Rice went down with the Blackbeard early in that first round. He can keep himself alive, keep those nades in pocket, force this run it back defense into some of those positions further back in the map. Going to see them change this score line up.
Okay, so oh geez, almost the TK there. Stompin's opening up the door, but not going to be the case. Bringing the shield back out. Talked about how often the Blackbeard gets banned. Well, it's because it's a shield with an AR on the other side of it. Absolutely devastating in the hands of the right person, the one who knows how. Rice going to be the one to try to facilitate that as well. A little bit of intel with the bees, and then an attention to the verticality. Aiden bringing out the buck. Try to force some of those players out of those critical push points. Specifically, speaking about that Mira, who's going to be tough to deal with.
Working on using that ace, opening up some of those sight lines. The Bandit looking for a potential trick here. This operational side takes such an important part. They've got to gain some control on that side of the map. Maybe the outside balcony not nearly as important as that operational side. Putting some ghost pressure at least, and you can see got Stompin upstairs looking for that, playing the Thatcher. They're looking for it now, going for this. You're gonna open up one of these sight lines, make sure that Bandit can't trick on the offside.
Oh, and there he is. They do open it up, and so they're going to open up the floor underneath, so they are going to be able to find it, but dealt with. Yuv goes down and takes Aiden off the board, is going to give the man advantage over. Hands of run it back. They did get the wall open, so Buck's job was done. They pay the price, and now they're down in the man deficit.
59 seconds left. It is so close right now. You said the man deficit. That's Aiden going down. Said he's struggling to get some traction, but that Rice and Blackbeard still left alive. 50 seconds. The collapse is coming here from this M80 attack. You can see run it back, holding on to some of the power positions. They have only a small hole open on the mezzanine or on the balcony side there, and right now very much focused on the other side of the map.
Okay, so making his way up. Smoke kind of pushing the stop button on the Blackbeard, who does take a quick couple of looks, and now has made his way inside, but pays the price. Turkey's going to take Rice off the board, Stompin to answer back. Vic gets taken down. Franklin on the trade. Stompin goes down. Now into a 1v2 situation. Is Franklin the last alive? He has the beat on it, finds one, puts him into the triple kill. 7 seconds left. He's going to go for the plant. So, going to start making the push up. He's got to defuse, or he's got to get it, but a C4, and not to mention it's on Franklin, the C4 king. They're able to find one. Oh, unfortunate timing. Here's the sound, and man, runs right into it.
Oh, run it back. 3-1. They pick up another. We said it. This tertiary site, the only opportunity there, back on that primary and shut it down. It got close at the end, but right now, run it back has completely changed up this style. We were talking about them throwing rounds on Consulate, and Lair is a completely different story. They're playing a significantly better game this time around. Now, it is Lair. It is defensive-sided. M80, though, right now showing some cracks in the armor. And run it back. Some signs of life. 3-1, getting very close to already hitting that quota in a 4-2 scenario. So M80x looking to find one here now, down in the basement. can't believe they're
Attackers have
running
located
so
a
much
bomb.
Ella though. That is, it's crazy how much she has picked up in competitive play in this year 10 season 1.
Gonna be honest, I love this guy. Escape, you're my new big fan, my new favorite person. Yeah, break out the barbecue sauce for any of it, my friend.
10
I
seconds
love
left.
the roam game here, Whiskey. We're bringing out the Vigil. We're sticking the Ella pick. We've got the
5 seconds
protection of the mirror. You've got the extension of the castle. This is a good defensive setup. This is going to make it tough to try to get in and find that space. Now, they did go down to this is a basement hold. Yeah, basement hold with an extension up top could be quite difficult to find yourself in. They do bring out the blitz, and this time it's going to be stomping on it. Stomping's going to be the spearhead push, that pistol pop and body drop and power. If he's able to get through, those Grismont mines have been difficult to deal with for shield players.
I love the double shield play here from this attacking team. You said it, the spearhead backed up by Franklin on the Blackbeard. You don't get to see him played very often because he was banned in nearly every single map that we watched early through this Qual 1 and Qual 2. But wow, Vipoa and Turkey taking down Aiden and Stompin, the two previous MVPs that we've seen. Boy, a win con met right now. Vic and Rice, the only two left alive. They're going to go ahead and even this thing up, though, with Turkey being down. No, he is recovered, but the nade coming in. So close. Man, 2 minutes left in this round. It feels like it's almost over.
Yeah, with a long time. No way! Sends in a Kobe. Rice finds Turkey off the grenade shot, and that's going to be the equalizer. And now you find yourself with Vigil coming in. He's going to be blocked from the drones as the gadget is in a play, but it's going to be a post-plant scenario. And they find one. Vic Bands takes Vapoa off the board as it gets answered back from a delicious little vector shot. So now Rice versus Rai as the battle for the R's takes place. Folks, you got to have 7 seconds on the board to get that defuse started. If you don't, you find yourself out of time. So he has to be aggressive, all while still being cautious. Goes for a little bit of the sound cue. He's starting to stick it. He gets off. A couple of pre-fire shots go out. Only a few seconds left to get this defuse started. Now they're going to be playing a difficult game of tag, and it's ring around the rosy. Not going to be enough time. What? Rice is going to find him. Sheesh.
Had the KD, shows up when he needed to, but no, the defender in a post-plant scenario, not pushing the advantage as much as they needed to. He needed to go faster, try to find something there, but M80 takes it. Talked about how good this team is in a post-plant, getting the plant down, objective-based gameplay. They show it off there on round 5, picking up one. That was the secondary site. They win it, didn't even have to fight for that tertiary, so now we're close. Is it going to be the standard defensive split 4-2, or is M80 going to come out on top and tie this thing up 3-3 as we head into the second half of this map?
This is an important round. In fact, I'd go so far as to call it critical for run it back. You can't let M80 be equalized going into their defensive half on Lair. It just cannot be done. M80x has hit their quota. They've already got their 2. Anything outside of this is going to be icing on the cake for M80x. So run it back, take it back down to the basement. They're just going to do basically that run it back scenario, this time bringing along the Fenrir to try to help stop some of that quick action, some of that quick space taking, some of that those quick entry kill picks. We'll see if it's going to be enough here. They are extended back up top.
Said it, extended up top. This last opportunity for the run it back defense, holding on, and a little bit of I wouldn't say it's a huge roam game here from this team. They've got 4 upstairs on the first floor, but nobody focused on that second floor. Victor running the Brava, quickly entering in, trying to steal some of this utility. Franklin's going to run that Blackbeard again. I think it's a good choice, though, stomping off the blitz, back on the Nook. So good on this operator.
Run, it's a huge roam game. Everybody's up on the first floor outside of 1, and now 2 players who did rotate back down to site. They are incredibly invested in making sure that you cannot have that vertical space here. Now they do get sussed out onto the stairs as he understands that there's going to be some pressure from the backside coming in. They've got a couple of players that are coming in to try to make that push, try to make that pinch. Blackbeard's made his way inside. Starting to look for some of that space as he gets a little bit closer to sight. be the person who cuts off that rotate game as they retake sight back down below. So he's got himself into a good spot. Not the only one in sight. In fact, Vic Band's on that Bravo drone, the only one still left outside.
Tied up 5-5 with 1:40. We're nearing halfway point in this round. Everyone left alive. Boy, we're really seeing a roller coaster in the way that these rounds are played out, whether or not it's dramatic engagement early on or a little bit more strategic tactical siege. But it's going to be Yuv taking down Stompin' the King for the first opening pick. Run it back. That is exactly what they needed if they want to try to push this 4-2 advantage. Currently 5-4 with 1:15.
Just runs in, taking up space, unafraid to engage in the battle. A prone position almost finds a live forfeit, but the long distance, the cross is set up, and a Vector's going to take Franklin off the board. Now man advantage heavy into the hands of running back. 60 seconds left to go. Vic Mans goes down, now into a 5-2. Running back looking to try to get it done flawlessly on the last round of the half, and they're going to find one more. Vipoa takes Rice, so it's all going to be on and in the hands of Aiden, as he's got to be on pace for the ace to get it done. Finds a quick couple of shots towards a crouched position, but not going to have any luck on those shots, so going to have to rotate just a little bit, find the scenic route, and deal with the verticality. I don't want to call this one over, but 26 seconds with some verticality in play as well. Seems like this one is well done and dusted.
They're going to start throwing bodies at him, but they can't afford to do that because it was a 5v1. Now a 4v1. He's got 13 seconds left. A little bit of intel, but right now the vertical play on top of him. He's trying to rush, take one of these kills. 1v3, pad the KD. It's not going to happen, though. Run it back. You're going to pick it up 4-2 half here on Lair on M80's map pick. I got to say, my friend, I'm a little bit surprised with the way that this one's turned out so far.
I don't know. It's defense on Lair, right? It seems like this is the necessary setup. We call it the standard split because it's standard. This is what you expect to see. And with a team that has a good defense, that has that good communication, Run It Back has been playing together, like you mentioned, for years now, at least the core of them. So when you get into those defensive positions that is extremely advantageous to the defense, they're going to run it back. So now we get into the op swap. We're switching gears. Now we're going to see what M80 brings to the table on their defensive half. And here's what we need to see. It's got to be a better attacking get-together than they did on Consulate, right? You can see they're going to be running some similar strats as the Candelas come out, as they're going to really try to cause some of that chaos as they're taking space, or that distraction as they're taking space on the other side of it. But the same old thing is not going to work here. You got to bring something different.
Yeah, you said it. And the big changeup, Warden available, Rice running it. So Ying is not going to be nearly as effective, not going to be able to lean into the glass as the opportunity or the smokes. Warden should be able to shut all of that down. So he does become, I think, a little bit a part of the win condition there for Run It Back. And honestly, man, their name is designed to just screw with us, because that was absolutely one of the catchphrases, man. Run it back. And we said it several times today, so they're just catching us off guard. But as far as taking a look at this team, early on, Stompin' had been the kill leader, not unexpected here, with the rest of the M80 team struggling a little bit to get anything going, but they have certainly amped it up in the next few rounds. Everybody contributing, everybody getting closer and closer to it, and Aiden is going to be the first one to take down Vipoa, and that is huge. That's the Ying gone, even though we said her Candelas weren't going to be as important of a factor. To lose her early is not even going to have that option on the table anymore.
Right, because the gun still has enough bullets to kill everyone, and those Candelas are just an agent of chaos, right? They can be absolutely devastating, especially if you've already baited out the Warden goggles. Man advantage is into the hands of M80x. A late round barricade is going to give a little bit of a different setup and scene when they start to make that final push in, and it's holding the long angle. Ace is looking for that rotate, looking for that cross back into sight, and somebody's going to try to test it. Will he be able to pull the trigger quick enough? 5-4, so we count down from 1:35.
Plenty of time left for either of these two teams, but the definite advantage here on the M80X side, you still have got the smokes, the area denial, the bandit tricking still available, all of the Legion goos there. So Run It Back has got their work cut out for them. They're moving, and it honestly, to me, feels like a little bit too slowly at this point. Yeah, you've got a minute 15, but they don't have all of the sight lines open. There's still a lot of defensive utility, not baiting out the smokes. They've got to step it up, turn up the gas here if they want to have a shot at winning.
Man, they're going to be able to take one. That bandit charge going to slow down at least part of it, but looks like the Summit charge going to blow it up here. Yeah, the big question here, Yuv, on the Ash, your entry is still outside, right? So being too slow, that feels like part of it right there is your entry. Now he gets taken off the board as Aiden is able to find a headshot there. Malik puts himself onto the double for the round. Flashes start to go out. Smoke start to go out. Grenade's going to force some movement on the side of the defense. And so they're going to put themselves in a 5-3, looking towards the long angle. Smoke starting to happen. The Lion Gadget trying to reveal where these defenders are. Nobody makes the move, and that's going to be the first one. Turkey finds one. Turkey good for two as both Stompin and Franklin go down. Now tied up, equalized, 3-3. 19 seconds left, and that's going to be Vic Bands to take Turkey off the board.
Oh!
Vic Bands now good for a double. Rai answering back onto Rice. We're going to find ourselves in a pretty critical situation. 8 seconds left. It is all on the shoulders of Mab, who takes a swing back into a 1v1 again. 4 seconds, but again, it's ring around the rosy. Just gets the diffuser in hand, starts to get it going. He's going to have to stick it, and instead, he's going to be dealt with. Aiden on the triple on the round. Defense is going to take one.
Well, we talked about him being the MVP from that previous round on Consulate, stepping up here when he needed to on M80's first defensive round, cleaning up at the end and with a 3K there. Run It Back got close. That was the plan going down. The battle's happening, but again, just a little bit too slow. That diffuser going down when he didn't have the option to hop off and take that gunfight directly. Well played on the M80X defensive side. So that is the primary site. 2F down. The basement is up, my friend.
Defenders, protect your
Okay, one away from tying it up. Head down to the basement. Rice bringing out the Cade, so an attention to that vertical, making sure that those hatches will be closed and difficult to get into. I mean, you're going to have to bring along something, some impact EMPs, maybe a little Thatcher play. Maybe see how it's going to play out. You're definitely going to have it. Lair's not a map that you want to walk down the stairs on, for sure. On the side of the defense, Stompin putting himself back onto the Goyo. Some vector play in hands of the King. Franklin going on to the smoke for that area denial, so they're going to double up on it. Vic Band's bringing out the Warden. Banned in the last map, but necessary and useful, especially if the attack is going to be bringing some of those agents of chaos. Candel's not going to be happening on this one. We will, however, see Turkey bring out the new op whiskey.
We've seen this a few times. I think Turkey did bring her out during the Consulate play, but I don't think we got to see her gadget used at all. And all of the times that we've seen here in year 10, season 1, during the Challengers Series open qualifiers, I don't think I've seen her gadget deployed a single time. So whether or not you like it for the 417 or the, or which one of the DMRs as the alternative, we just really haven't seen her use that gadget. I want to see it in competitive play. I want to see how teams are using it. So I know there's a few bugs associated with it, but it would be interesting. I want to see how they're gonna change up the gameplay with her new operator, that new gadget.
First kill goes down. That's the Vector taking Yev down. Man advantage is going to go into the hands of the defense, and that was a big pick, right? They take down your roam sussing out contender. Jackal gone, which means anybody that's out and about specifically on this first floor, Vic, Stompin, and Aiden, all going to go left unchecked except for some drone usage.
Yeah, huge opportunity there with the roam clear gone. Man, this is making it very difficult for the Run It Back squad. But Turkey, somebody said it, man, just going absolutely insane. 13, 4, and 1 on the back of that ace to start this map off on Ella. Just continuing to back up this play.
Ooh.
Stompin, though, taking one down. A 4v2 scenario. A lot of pressure now on this Run It Back team.
Makes a quick run across, and now it's on the other side of it. Another run back as games are being played. Folks finds one, a stomp goes down. Aiden is going to take him off the board, so now into a 3v1, and you said it. The individual heroics of Turkey now needs to step in. He's got to find 3 to maintain the scoreline advantage here. 13-4, he has the chance to do it. He's got to take down Aiden, and that has kind of become one of the win conditions of today in this best of 3s. He's just absolutely having a great day. That was the gadget deployed, Whiskey, so he does have some on a couple of the doors. Now starts to make the rotate up, the long angle. Franklin's able to take Turkey off the board, and that's going to be one for the defense, and we're going to find ourselves equalized on the scoreline.
Tied it up. Somebody said in chat we were going to see a 7-4 victory for M80X after picking up just 2 in that first. But they're on their way. Still plenty of siege left to be played. And yeah, gadget comes out. Turkey using it, trying to block off some of those site rotations. He needed to open it back up, though, to try and find the other defensive operator. Sitting in a 2v1 scenario there at the end. Very difficult situation. M80X ties this thing up now. One of the things we didn't talk a lot about early on during the setup was this team was involved in a little bit of controversy early on. The team that they played against got DQ'd, so we didn't get a chance to see all of their games on stream. So seeing how they were approaching all of these maps, how well they were playing together, it was we didn't get to see all of it. So I'm glad that we're getting a chance to see how Run It Back is playing both sides here. They're making a game out of it, though. Tied this thing up. Playing better on Lair than I was certainly expecting.
Yeah, and just to clarify, DQ'd again, mind you. We won't get into the specific details. But, yeah, unfortunate that the VOD won't be there for that one. Nothing for M80X to really look at and base it off of. So, 4-4 as it gets tied up. Doesn't seem like they need any of that video review, though. Their defense is speaking volumes right now.
Yeah, showing up when they need to, and this I love the use that we're getting to see Fenrir more. He was banned out so frequently in year 9, we basically never got a chance to see him played. Now certainly making a comeback again, not banned out nearly as much in this case. So combination, the Warden and the Intel deny of Mute, going to make this difficult for Run It Back. Those were 2 things that they really were focusing on, a big drone game and missing the Warden, using the Ying. Vipo is going to bring the Ying out again this time, and they have got a few flashes and 4 smokes on the board in addition to all those Ying Candelas. Taking down Warden and Aiden specifically is going to be a really important part of this attack.
Okay, so the first minute is gone, done, and dusted as the drones get in and doing what they do best, trying to suss out where the heck these defenders are at. Everybody up on the second floor outside of Rice, who looks to play spoiler down below. Maybe a bit of a sound cue, maybe a bit of that that intel coming from the Fenrir gadgets. They go off. You know where the push is coming from at that point. Here it is again, though. Vipoa setting out those Ying Candelas so they can take up a little bit of space. Not necessarily being used to get yourself in for an execute, but to just take up that necessary ground, right? Turkey goes down as the hero of the last couple of rounds is gone. And that's your flank watch as well as the Nomad. No more air jabs where she got sent to. So main advantage is into the hands of M80X. Last smoke goes out. And they did it early, so now have to rely on some of the more traditional means to hold that corner. A little bit of gunplay needed.
Turning point in this game, though. Turkey going down, Aiden stepping up, backing up his performance on Consulate. This right now getting to be a very difficult situation for Run It Back. You still have got the Ying in play, looking to toss one of those Candelas in to make the push, but M80 ready and waiting for it, and Aiden picking up another. Man, when he is heating up exactly when this team needs him to.
No kidding. Stomping able to take a shotgun and shut down Yuv, which means we're going to sit into a 4-2 scenario. A quick peek, and then back to holding the angle, hoping that there will be a double swing, hoping to bait somebody into actually making the mistake, but nobody really on that. Shotgun does get taken down as Franklin is out in a quick swing. Vic Bands to answer back onto Vipoa, as now we're into a 3v1 scenario, kind of resting in that vertical play. And there goes the Fenrirs as he gets himself into sight. That vertical going to be
no
happening.
way.
Aiden finds another kill at this moment. Right. Yesterday was the day of stomping. Today is an Aiden world, and we're all just living in it.
many kills did he get that round? Not only like direct takes and vertical play. Did he pick up a 4K on that round?
Who knows? Who can even tell? This guy is just all over the board. One of the things that we talked about stomping Whiskey is that he seems to be in the right place at the right time almost every single time. Well, Aiden trying to see that he can do it too. 11-4. He has turned himself into the win condition today for this time. And run it back. They're going to take a timeout. This is a smart call. Right? We say anywhere from 65 to 75% of the time, the team that takes the timeout is able to catch themselves the next round. No idea. Maybe it's because they get to talk about it. Maybe because they're the ones forcing the break. Not sure what the magic or the science is behind it. We'll see if it sits today. They need this round to tie it up because now M80X is one away from that coveted match point scenario.
Right, they've gone flawless on their defense after the round swap. 3 in a row. You saw the scoreboard come up there during the timeout. Flawless to start this thing off at once they got the side swap. They are absolutely locked in, and you said it. When the king is floating and his team is backing him up, or in this case, surpassing him, M80X, I think, becomes an unstoppable team. Aiden picking up 11-4. Aiden Tax, you said it. We're in his world, just living in it right now because going crazy. And everybody else on the team, with the exception of Rice, Rice and Franklin, the only not positive members of this team. Run it back, struggling a little bit more. They take down Turkey. If they get him off the board, those rounds are easily going to M80. So I think he becomes the win condition. From a run it back perspective, got to keep him alive. Get one of these opening picks. They're losing all the opening engagements as well and fighting every round from a 4v5 early on, and that is not a way to win the game, Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, that is the dang truth. Got to have a strat, got to have a push point. I think one of the parts it's going to start with is get your Ash inside, get your Ash active. Time to put some entry pick capabilities. And if you're putting it in the hands of Yov needs to be in there, right? We saw him on one of the last rounds, still outside, last one into the building, and that's just not the play here. Turkey puts themselves onto the gridlock, the thick lock this time, instead of the Nomad, but still filling that similar role. He's going to be guarding the flank. And Maverick, who has become kind of almost a staple, a go-to, going to be utilized here to get that breach open.
Again, talking about it, 1 minute down in this round and all 10 left alive, taking a little bit of a slower approach. Again, this is a good call from the run it back side. Take your time, focus on this attack, work the strategic nature of Siege. You're holding on to the second floor, so they're working on opening these sight lines. They have the balcony breach already open. Now you can see 3 of those orange lines stacked up, 4 now over on the operational side. They're going to make the push in and try and open up one of those, the wall into sight for a default plant. M80X not particularly well set up to defend that kind of a push. Rice, the main counter, he's going to be the guy that they need to take down, but this fight downstairs on the first floor going to happen first.
Okay, more than half of the round is done. We sit 5-all, and there's a couple of shotguns in hand, waiting to deal with the presence, waiting to deal with the pressure. And it's kind of a hurry-up-and-wait scenario, a stronghold, as M80X really just has to wait it out. Valkyrie on the board, which means that they've got some intel, and there's Aiden to go down. Vapoa taking him, so man advantage gets equalized as Vic is able to find Yov off the board, and so entry not going to find one. Now into a 4-4 with the last minute starting to count down. They got to get some drones in and figure out where they're at all over again.
4v4 scenario, 45 seconds left. Who's going to be the hero? Who's going to be the loser here? M80X is up 1 round over, run it back. 38 seconds left. Sight lines are in place. Right now, it's feeling like run it back again, moving a little bit too slowly on the attack.
Okay, now on to the main breach. Going to start to make this final push in. Might have to deal with some vertical. Flashes go out. Stomping able to shotgun down Turkey as the smokes are there. So man advantage is into the hands of the defense, but they make it in. They make their way in, and they start to go for the plant. The cross is being held, but the shotgun, and Franklin again sends the C4. The man is devastating with those. which means now it's into a 4v1. Ace is alone, 3 seconds left. M80x 1 round away from qualifying for the Swiss stage.
1 round away, my friend. It is match point, not just match point, but map point, series point, and you said it, qualification to the Swiss stage point. 1 round away. Run It Back has got to put in something here special on the attack. Can they show up here on Lair to shut this thing down? M80x looking incredible, and boy, you said it. And whoever in the chat predicted a 7-4 victory is going to look like a hero at this point. I know you saw it, my friend, though. M80x bringing out the Cav, 11-5-4, nearly unstoppable, and that to me shows the level of confidence that him and this team is bringing to their map pick.
No, this is, yes, it is confidence, of course, anytime you bring the Cav out, but this is knowing. This is new tech here. Bring out the Cav on Lair. Absolutely devastating when utilized correctly. And be still my beating heart. Aiden just heard me begging for it and brings it out. I love this play. Just want to take a quick second and say thank you so much for all of you hanging out here with us at the Siege Double Shot, allowing us to do what we do. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the follows. Thank you to Fett and Jinxie for watching the stream. Super for watching the stream and sharing this with everybody. This has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much, folks. Okay, here we go, Whiskey. It's time to get into it, my friend. Match point scenario. Run It Back needs to be perfect here for 2, or they're going to have to live up to their namesake and run it back in Qual number 3.
I was a betting man, my friend, and my money is on M80x and this team. Just unstoppable right now. Run It Back has got their work cut out for him. Bringing out the shield. Rai going to play the Blackbeard. And a combination of operators, but look at this. Turkey finding Stompin on the opening pick again. It's unusual that Stompin goes down in that opening pick, but Turkey has been, like we said, unstoppable right now. M80x holding underneath, listening. There it is. Gonna find one. Not going. Not gonna go for the Intero.
Going for the second, the shotgun. This cross is set up. Don't get caught slipping. Gets one down. He's gonna, can't go for it. But instead, it's just gonna be a menace. The rotate around, back into sight. Cav good for a double. Now into a 4v2 situation. It is starting to fall apart for Run It Back. They push in. Blackbeard with the diffuser. Starting to take up some of that space, but they're still up on the first floor. It's flash and go, flash and go. No way to drone it out either. So this is all going to be on the cusp of just taking space and feeding yourself the kills. Cav is still on the board. The silent step is active. On the lab exit could potentially be another bit of a spoiler play here. C4's in the hands of the defense. 1 minute and 14 seconds left. Hibana starting to open up that main wall. Fire goes out from the Goyos as it starts to slow down. This is it. 65 seconds left. He's got one close, but doesn't know as the drone went past it, so a bit of a missed drone there. Taking a second look, looking for him. Got to spot out any of these defenders. Whiskey, it's 53 seconds. They've got the smokes. Cav still an absolute presence with that shotgun in hand. 2 smoke canisters. It feels like it's starting to fall apart now for Run It Back on Lair map. One more smoke. 30 seconds. The difference between running it next weekend and moving on to the Swift stage here and present. They're just going to have to risk it. They push in through the smoke. Blackbeard taking a bunch of damage. A couple of pre-fires through the wall bang, but nobody there. And it is Cav again. Oh, man. Franklin's actually going to make the kill, but Cav gets in and does the disruption. Does get taken down. Now into a 2v1 scenario, low health situation, 10 seconds left. I think we can start to potentially call this one. He's got to find the kills, but it's too little. It's too late. M80x is moving on to the Swiss stage. The king will not be dethroned and proves that he is here for a reason. And that reason is to make it on the path to pro, the gateway to greatness. It all started right here.
Damn, my friend. 7-4 victory for M80x. What a play. What a weekend that they had. dramatically different result than last time. They lost to JJ and Co, but came back even stronger to take on Run It Back. And that's what they're going to have to do next weekend in Qual 3. For the M80X fans out there, you've got a little bit of a wait now. We're going to have to wait until the Swiss stage starts to see this team play it out. And again, the community casters here, the Whiskey Boys on the Siege Double Shot, we very much appreciate all of you guys joining, watching, hanging out with us. Man, what a call at the end, my friend. Incredible run for M80X. This is a team that has got something very significant to prove and is on their way to the Pro League.
Yeah, the path is set. It is theirs to take it. They have been at the top since they come in, and it has been a short run, but they are already there. Console scene, the heroes of the console scene coming and showing up and demanding respect from the PC players. And you know what? Hats off. They got it. They're here. Swiss stage, baby. Let's see if they can take it all the way.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll bring up the bracket again one more time because we're getting all kinds of questions about this all over the place, right? The bracket, North America Challenger League. This is the path to pro. 3 open qualifiers, 4 teams from each, plus some LATAM teams coming in, plus an invite, makes up that 16-team round for Swiss. M80X is one of those 16 now, having won their quarterfinal game. The top 8 out of that Swiss are going to go to a double elimination playoff bracket where the winner will pick up the NAL affiliate spot in Pro League. This is absolutely within M80's grasp. I can't wait to see what this team, what the King can do in Pro League.
That's right. The big question mark that will remain unseen until after Qual number 3, right? There's still one more. We still got a chance for you and your stack to try to put yourself on the path to pro, the gateway to greatness. You can live the stomping dream as well. Get your stack together, get signed up, and do your best. The last Qual is coming, my friends. This is your chance to do it. Whiskey, man, I can't believe we're already done with Siege today. I'm just, man, I want more.
Yeah, and when you take a look at the brackets on Challenger mode, it shows that there's semifinal and final games. But because 4 teams qualify, all of the quarterfinal winners are those 4 teams. The semifinals and finals are seeding games, but because it's a Swiss stage we're going into, the seeding game's not as important, and the team's not choosing to play them. So in this case, I think you're right, my friend. The end of the day, we're not going to see any more of this M80 team. They get to take a break and prep for Swiss. And that's what's going to happen next week. If you're wondering who is M80 going to play in Swiss, you're going to see it here on the Siege Double Shot next weekend. Who is Stomping going to play? That'll be those teams we're seeing next weekend in the open qualifier number 3.
That's right. And if you want all of that news, where, when, why, what, when does Stompin' play, you can find out on the Siege Double Shot Twitter. Go give us a follow. We just posted some new Banshee tech that we got to see the attempt for live on stream. Thank you for sending those videos to us. And yeah, follow us at glitter_whiskey, at racingengr. We love talking Siege, and it is your go-to spot for anything T4 through T1. When's it happening? Where's it going down? Well, the Siege Double Shot has got your answer. If you want to hang with us and play some games, we've got rank stacks going all the time in our Discord. Join up, hang out. It's copper to champ and some competitive in between, and some very familiar faces and names in there to play along with if you would choose to do so. Man, we're it. This is here.
Yeah. Congrats to M80X winning the best of 3 in 2, taking down Consulate, and then their map pick on Lair being unstoppable Lair defense. This is a team that is very good, and was honestly a pleasure to be able to watch them play here today on the stream. We hope everybody got their fill of M80 because it's a little bit of a pause. You're going to have to watch the Rival Rollers series here to see some of these guys pick up games in between. We've been casting those as well, too. You may have seen us, and we're going to continue to follow along with the Rival Rollers series, Roller Sundays and Saturdays, after all of the Challenger Series games are done.
That's right. So more Siege to come at you, but it's not going to be today, my friends. So alas, we have hit the dreaded part of the evening where we must bid you adieu. Thank you to Jinxie. Thank you, Fett. Thank you, Super. Thanks to all of the console fans. Thanks for everybody watching us. We appreciate you. But as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Ayo.
Let's go.